this regular meeting of the Nevada City Council to order on Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 6:03 p.m. Can we get a roll call, please?
Brian Hansen,
Here.
Jason Sampson,
Here.
Dave Nielsen,
Here.
Sandy Eric,
Here.
Luke Spence,
Here.
Barb Mittman.
Okay, first item is approval of the agenda. Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, council please vote.
You're gonna have to bear with me. I'm all alone today.
That's-
Nope. Let's try this again. Now it's mad at me. Okay, we're gonna have to do roll call. I'm sorry. It's not wanting to register. Nielsen,
Aye.
Sampson,
Aye.
Spence,
Aye.
Eric, Hansen,
Aye.
Mittman.
Okay, then the agenda is approved, takes us into public hearings. The first public hearing is for wastewater sewer revenue loan phase 1 construction for 1.5 million. So we'll open the public hearing. Karen, did we receive any written or oral comment?
No.
Is there anyone here to speak in the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, move into resolution number 47, 2020-2021. Resolution taking additional action on proposal to enter into a revenue or sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
Brian and Sandy, any discussion? Seeing none, council please vote. That is approved. Cases into public hearing B for the sewer revenue loan wastewater treatment facility planning and design for 3.4 million. We will open the public hearing. Karen, did you receive any comment?
No comments.
Is there anyone here to speak in that public hearing? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Move into resolution number 48, 2020-2021. Resolution taking additional action with respect to a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and authorizing, approving, and securing the payment of a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement anticipation project note, IFA interim loan and disbursement agreement.
Move to approve. Second.
Jason, and the discussion. Seeing none, council please vote. That passes, takes us into the consent agenda.
Move to approve with the corrected minutes.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, council please vote.
Wait a minute. Okay, you should be able to now.
And that passes, takes us into the public forum, and the first item will be swearing in probationary volunteer firefighters. So Chief Reynolds will come up and introduce them, and then we will come out there and do the swearing in.
Sure. Good evening. We have 4 firefighters that we're bringing on board. In all honesty, they've been on board for a while. With COVID, we've kind of kept them out of the council meetings and with the registrations and stuff. So at this point, we'll try and get all of them cycled through because I think it's quite an honor to be in front of the council and to be sworn in by the mayor. One thing that Jim Walker did back in the day was kind of want to know who these people are. So he requested that we have some background on them. So instead of trying to come up with the background, I now make them come up with the background. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just read what they provided. First one is Greg Jones. Good evening, my name is Gregory Jones. I'm 29 years old. I was raised by my grandparents in Modesto, California. I graduated from Modesto High School in 2009. My wife and I moved to Nevada, Iowa around 3 years ago after finding out our family would be growing. She wanted to be closer to family, and at the same time, we wanted to be in a better place to raise our son. My son's name is Connor. He's now 3 years old. I've grown to love the community here and wanted to be a bigger part of it. That's when I joined the Nevada Fire Department and got to meet the people I would soon call my family. My goal is to serve my community to the best of my ability and become the best firefighter I can, complete my classes, and then potentially try to get hired on at a fully staffed fire station in the future. With that, I would like to say thank you for welcoming me and my family to this great community. The next one is Spencer Clark. Spencer, he's a senior in Nevada High School. I enjoy hunting and fishing along with spending time with friends and family outside of school. I'm an active member of the FFA and hope to take a track to the state fair next summer before I go to college. My plans after high school are to go to Northeast Iowa Community College for 2 years and then work for John Deere as a technician. My goal is to stay around the Nevada area, and I have grown up here and would like to stay in this area. Just a quick side note on the inspections at the school. I was talking to Mr. Cooper and thanked him for turning out so many firefighters in our community. So the FFA program seems to have that unintended consequence, which is nice. The next person is Margaret Pike. I was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. I moved to Iowa 13 years ago, and I lived in Nevada for 6 years with my husband in fur babies. I applied for the EMT course at Mary Greeley this summer and didn't really have a good idea of what EMTs do. I became very interested in emergency services. I currently work a full-time job and cannot switch to the field of EMS as an EMT due to financial reasons. I'm very excited about the firefighter role as well. I work really well under pressure, and I'm able to respond well to stressful situations. I was involved in an accident 5 years ago in which a person died. I wasn't able to help him. I felt helpless, and I now know that I want to be able to help people during some of the worst times in their lives. In the next 5 years, I hope to complete schooling and become a paramedic. I'm looking forward to the experience and knowledge that comes along with being an EMT firefighter, as well as being a part of the community and the fire department family. And last but not least is Max Hoffman. He's also a senior in school. He was born in Spencer, Iowa on May 5th, 2002. He's a senior at Nevada High School. In high school, he's participated in student council, soccer, baseball, wrestling, basketball, and football. My parents' names are Brett and Amanda Hoffman. They are both teachers. My dad is a 6th grade teacher at Nevada Middle School, and my mom is a guidance counselor at Colfax, Meanville, and Baxter Elementary Schools. I have one older brother. He goes to Buena Vista University and is becoming a teacher as well. I joined the fire department because I just wanted to give back to the community after everything they've supported me on. Some of my goals after high school are to go to either a trade school or go to a junior college to get my mastership in plumbing and then become a very knowledgeable firefighter. I like these because it gives them an opportunity to write as well. So I give that to the chief. So with that, they're all yours, sir.
That's good. Thanks, Rick. Okay, want you all come up, kind of up front. And then when you're done with this, we'll have you sign it, and then it goes to Karen over there. Okay, so have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Gregory Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa
and the City Code of Nevada, Iowa,
and the City Code of Nevada, Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of firefighter
discharge all the duties of the office of firefighter
for the City of Nevada, Iowa,
for the City of Nevada, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations to our newest firefighters. We appreciate it very much. Sign your copy and either turn it into Ray or Karen.
I would just like to point out that we are currently at a full staff with 50 members.
Okay, continuing on in the public forum, we will go to Main Street, Nevada, an update from Henry Corbin.
All right, well, hello everyone, and I'm excited to be here with really good news. So, we're pretty proud of this sign that we received. We were one of 14 communities in the state to receive a Iowa Challenge Grant, which is for the Gatherings building project. And so that was quite the honor, and we're pretty excited about that. So I wanted to come today just to show you the plans that we put together with the project, and I believe all of you should have those. And so we're just excited because it is quite the project. We're pretty fortunate here in this county, in this area. Ames also received a challenge grant also. Ames, Avoca, Burlington, Centerville, Coon Rapids, Hampton, Jefferson, Jewell, Marion, Marshalltown, Mount Vernon, Ottumwa, and West Branch also received one. And they are very interesting projects. They're kind of all across the scale, but I think ours is one of the largest projects that they did that will be done with this grant. So just wanted to go through and show you the latest plans. Just kind of describing again, it's going to be a co-working space is its main focus, but it will also house Farmhouse Catering's offices. The latest plans also show the studio, which we have interest in, a local yoga company and holistic company on doing classes in that space too. We have a lot of interest in this. People are pretty excited that this is something coming to the community, especially with those work at home individuals. And so we're really excited about that. And then one of the things that has started because of this is there is a lot of interest in projects downtown. We have a lot of them underway actually as we speak, of building owners who have just taken it upon themselves to do improvements. And so we're pretty proud of that. So we just wanted to say, Phil Page with Courthouse View Apartments, he's been undergoing a huge project. Roger Sampson with the old hotel building, he has put in 2 new storefront facades, which is beautiful. I encourage you all to go down there and look at it. Bappies have done some work on the old Opera House entrance and their facade, and that's going to be a beautiful look. Jordaning Law Office has done some work on their entrances also. And Zircoli's on the Sujitsu have done an improvement on their facade and sound like they hope to continue forward. They're looking for options on how to do it. And then the theater is currently having some work done on its marquee and working on that. So we have a lot of interest. We have a lot of businesses reaching out for design assistance from our committees, from anything from signage all the way up to facade renderings and full building renderings. And there's a lot of interest. It has just been steadily growing and growing. And the support and the conversation, businesses are conversing with each other. So we're excited about it. We'll also be holding a grant and business owner workshop here in the coming week. We'll have information coming out to all the business owners, and they can also reach out to us with any questions or interests. But it'll be going over the grants. We'll have Evie speak a little bit about what it's like as a business owner to go through them. And so we're pretty excited to bring that forward and answer questions. So, we're hopefully looking at starting some work around January. Wedding season is booming, and so we're kind of picking a weekend that we can make a lot of noise upstairs and not bother anyone. So we'll be excited, and we'll send that out because we will be looking for some volunteers to help with just some of the projects and the demolition and some fun things, but we'll make it an enjoyable time. So any questions from the council for me?
Congratulations, that's a great grant for your projects.
Thank you. We're very excited and we're honored to be part of it. So. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, next is John Paul, NEDC, continuing our string of good news.
Well,
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jordan invited me here tonight to speak specifically about the housing readiness assessment. So if you remember, this is the assessment that we had asked the council for $5,000 in matching funds to apply for a $10,000 grant. We did find out that we were awarded by the Empower Rural Iowa group for that $10,000 matching grant. So that $10,000 we applied for will actually go towards the city's effort for demolition of existing dangerous and dilapidated housing stock with the goal of making infill lots and ultimately increasing not only our housing stock, but finding those properties that are maybe not contributing what they should be for existing property taxes within city limits and improving that. Now, as part of the actual housing readiness assessment, those next steps are looking to begin here fairly shortly. So it's a pretty involved process and will take probably the next 4 to 6 months to actually complete the assessment. But the first step is the establishment of the Housing Steering Committee. It's a 7 to 10 member committee that really is a hands-on volunteers driving this forward. And that will be back before you after we kind of generate some names to be on it, because it's actually got to be passed by resolution or ordinance to kind of formalize the committee for the city. That committee will then conduct a self-assessment, really analyzing all of the housing programs, housing policies and procedures that exist within the city, as well as looking at kind of past housing efforts, where they've been successful and where they've come up short, so that we can kind of have a baseline for assessing what what barriers may exist and how to kind of overcome those. The second phase to the readiness assessment will be kind of doing a walkthrough, an interactive workshop is what the folks at ISU Community and Economic Development, ISU Extension and Outreach Community and Economic Development label it as. Really, it's a guided discussion built around trying to formally look at all of the policies and procedures with eyes from outside our community that are used to looking at these policies and procedures. So while it's really spearheaded by the committee at that point, we'll likely look for that to be a full formal council meeting to actually have the council as bought in and involved in that guided conversation, that guided discussion. The third phase is then the public input session. So that's where we'll really lean on all of you all, lean on other groups in the community to make sure that we're getting the appropriate public input for the housing needs and the housing barriers that exist in the community. And then the fourth phase is to develop that action plan. And that action plan is more than just looking at short and long-term goals, but it's actually developing a timeline with actionable goals and measurables so that we can make significant progress into our housing. So this housing readiness assessment should really line up well with the housing needs assessment currently being conducted by Story County and should provide us a strong not only work plan, but a real strong path forward to address housing needs that we know exist in our community, both from low income on up to our executive type housing throughout the community, and how we can address those needs and ensure that we are doing everything we can to attract new residents to our community. So with that, I would open it up to any questions that anybody might have. I'm sure that there will be lots of questions throughout this process. I'll be working with Jordan to establish the committee here, hopefully in the next 30 days.
Thank you for the overview, John.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Good work, thank you.
That continues on in the public forum. Is there anyone else here to speak in the public forum? Seeing none, we'll close the public forum, move to old business, and there's old business A, ordinance number 1015, 2020, 2021, an ordinance adopting FEMA floodplain management, second reading.
Move to approve.
Second. Jason, and I think I heard Barbara with it. Discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote. passes, takes us to item B, which that one's ready to go, right, Jordan? Before I read that one. Just making sure. It's a long one to read.
No, it is not. Let's just put that on pause. We sent it back to Dorsey and Whitney and we were able to get that back, but and I talked to her on it about Thursday and she was supposed to have something by Monday and I didn't get it.
Okay. Then let's get- Item C, approved pay request number 8 for the Central Business District Infrastructure Project from Contract Incorporated in the amount of $149,384.65.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, council please vote. Okay, that passed. This takes us to item D, discussion of appropriate follow-up on opening of public facilities, so our COVID talks. So probably wait for that. I can brief you on a couple pieces of material you would have, and some of what's occurred since last meeting. So we put a summary of last meeting's discussion up online and on the website, and I think you also saw by email, try to reflect the consensus we came to. So thank you all for working together to get to that. Because that helps frame the whole thing. So as you can see, the numbers are trending not in the direction we would like. So Story County is right under the 15% that we set. Nevada is trending a couple points behind, and then the Ames test Iowa is as well. It's trending up, however, as you can see. So everything's trending up. Story County is close to triggering the 15%. And then the test Iowa and Ames, which kind of shows the community spread, also shows that community, and you have the school information as well. So that's updated. We'll continue to do that. Marlis is doing a really nice job of putting out messaging online, and she has a graphic prepared for a severe 15% that has red letters instead of blue letters, and kind of highlights more of the safety precautions and things like that. So which gets us to kind of we talked to Les at Public Health, so we talked about, looking at restricting capacity a little bit more if there's a step between where we are 50% and 0, and she felt that might be appropriate, and then also continue to reinforce messaging, which are the same things we had on our graphic before, and I think the only thing she threw in that wasn't on there was recommending gatherings of no more than 10. So that was the only bullet point that I recall noticing in that we weren't already doing in our public information. So knowing probably the biggest driver of that discussion was the park and rec facilities, I asked him to put together a report of what was upcoming so you could see the types of rentals we currently have. And then he also did a nice job putting the ones that might, like if we did a 25% face covering or 25% capacity face covering rule, which ones would fall outside of that. And for the most part, it's all the jury selection except for one, looks like open house, but it's a coming and going one that probably would stay under at any one moment in time. So we wanted to put that in front of you for the talk this evening. I don't know if Tim or Jordan have any particular recommendations off the top of my head. Maybe look to see what it would look like at further restricted capacity requiring face coverings in those facilities should be trigger 15%.
I would just say that, those events that, like the church, junior theater, program, Story County School, all those groups are masking now. So they can be very good.
I know I said this before the meeting to attend, but thank you for putting this together. This is really helpful. We're looking at what talking about being right out there. This is awesome info.
I thought that would help so that you know whether it's big raucous events or if it's smaller capacity events. And I think whatever direction we go, I know Park and Rec can work to make sure that because these are what's on the books, they can make sure anything that's added to the books complies with the types of events you feel are responsible right now.
Tim, what's this attorney, county attorney, is that what I'm?
They do jury selection.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have a facility large enough for that type of a group. This is the largest in the community, so It's similar to, I think the school has it for testing, and I said, you know, like, as far as school testing goes, it would be worse to kick them out and make them find a smaller spot than to go out. So, I mean, in my opinion, reviewing this, I didn't see anything that I felt that we needed to not allow to happen, but we wanted to put in front of council so that everyone was on the same page.
I would say too, that, talking to that point with the county attorney in there, we use the auditorium, we also have the ability to use partition walls too, so we can expand that into the south and we can get a little more space if that became necessary. It just kind of depends on what kind of selection we're doing as to how many people. So we do have some flexibility, I think, to help accommodate even more if necessary.
Is anybody feeling differently, or do you feel like we're on the appropriate track based on our last discussion?
I like this. I mean, I think I was just talking to someone last week who was talking about the games and mentioned discussions that we had. Their immediate reaction after discussing that was, well, I'll just do it at home. Like, well, if you do it at home, then you're probably not going to be packed with a tighter space. We should provide facilities with what you can mask up and spread out. But they're going to do these things anyway, so I think this is good. I think having this information, and that's kind of the groups we're talking about in the first place. I like that. Again, I know I said it once already, but I appreciate having this information.
Very good. Okay. Good.
What about the senior center?
Karen, she asked about senior center. Is that, are there currently hearings for that?
Marla says she can't hear you very well, so
It's really breaking up right now, especially if you turn your head side to side, so if you can speak loudly and slowly, maybe that will help.
So are we good with the 25% of that, the direction?
the senior center, there isn't a lot there, and we've actually had a couple cancel just here recently too. So I think they're monitoring themselves. And the seniors are spreading out. They have been, the last month was the first month they went back to doing our holding and stuffing. And they actually went, we took the bills over to them, to the senior center, so that they could spread out and limit the number of people. And it seemed to work well, so.
Do you think the 25% capacity is appropriate in that facility to be consistent or not?
Well, I think the tables, the 6 feet, the social distancing, right,
Automatically does it.
monitors them. Yeah.
The weather being actually nice, are the parks are still actually being used? They're closing those as well.
We don't do any shelter reservations now.
I'm talking about playgrounds and stuff like that. Like we did back in the spring, right? Well, or put up signs anyway.
Yeah, those were shut completely in the spring.
I don't think we thought it was gonna be, I think we thought it was gonna be colder than we thought.
Honestly, from what I've seen in the last 7 weeks, don't need people out there, but anyways, big numbers.
Wait till tomorrow. Yeah, that'd be nice.
We're all probably sure we're 10% off too.
Anything else? Anyone would like to see this different than what I've laid out?
I think we're on a good track. I like what we're doing now.
Good. And we'll continue to, Marlis will keep doing the public information aspect of it. She'll keep updating this for you all. Not if it hits severe, we'll probably do it every day, but for now, every 2 days. And then I don't know that necessarily we'll need this updated or not. But if anybody wants to see that again for the next meeting, let me know. I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. And that closes item D. Moves into new business. New business, replacement of front outdoor sign in Beta Public Library.
We approve option 1. That sign is over 790.
Barb, discussion.
I'd like to applaud Shanna and I guess the library board too for the work in putting that cost down. The grant and stuff.
Seeing no other discussion, council, please vote. And that passes, takes us to item B, resolution number 49, 2020-2021. Resolution obligating funds from the Urban Renewal Tax Revenue Fund for appropriation. The payment of annual appropriation tax and finance obligations which shall come due the next succeeding fiscal year, which include Almaco, 30,000 in DC membership, 65,000 in Collins, and 6,000 are Friedrich & Sons, LMI, 153,709, Mid-States Material Handling, 29,906, and Provio, 68,612.
Move to approve.
Second. Baseman Dane, any discussion? Seeing none, council please vote. That passes. Takes us to item C, resolution number 50, 2020-2021. Resolution approving tax increment financing and indebtedness certification and directing certification to be filed no later than December 1st, 2020.
Move for approval.
Sandy, move. Discussion. Thank you. Seeing none, council please vote. That passes. Takes us to D, resolution number 51, 2020-2021. Resolution consenting to the assignment of development agreement and tax increment payments.
Move to approve.
Second. Brian, Dane, discussion. Seeing none, council please vote. Okay, that passes. Takes us to E, approved firm to redesign city of Nevada website.
All right, so you should see a form, enclosed, you should see a document going over what we broke down, and staff is recommending Saltech. Due to one, proximity, price, we believe they can achieve what we're trying to accomplish for our website as well, which will add more creative design. Not to mention some of the things that they're going to be able to provide. I think we'll just do a lot better job than Civic Engage, was basically get the same website design with every Civic Engage. We want to do a little bit different.
So we have online payment capabilities.
We'll have online payment. We're working on doing a clerk thing, so that'll have templates, and we're trying to get it so we can just get it sent off and we can bring it up on the iPad rather than having to load it all on here all the time. So it's driven from the actual website itself.
Saltech and Civic Plus are both online. They wanted to speak as well.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions for either of those two, I believe we received 6 total, and Civic Plus and Saltech were the 2 that we narrowed it down to.
So what is in 5 years, all type, either A's on the business or
We get
we don't like their services anymore?
we retain everything that is on the website. It's our property, so if we decide to go with another firm, or if we're just not happy with them, and we say we're done, you can take all of our contact records.
Would that be the case if we're not a civic engaged?
No.
Why was Proud City in the bike?
They were from, I believe, California. And I don't really know much about them. I didn't think the proposal was very thorough. So I just, and Marla looked at it as well. Now, she really cared for it as much as
We all figured that one out.
well,
It said, I think we all figured that one out. These two firms really did look at the top. And you have two kind of different ones. One is very turnkey and functional. The other one is more creative and mobile. So you have two different flavors. So any further discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Well,
Yeah, I can barely find stuff on our current website. And that is approved. So that takes us to reports. Starting with city administrator.
all right, I don't have much, but I was contacted by someone from the Central Iowa Community Services, and in the past, I know that we allow banners and signs for mental health, and I was wondering how you guys wanted to proceed with that, if you wanted us to put an action item on the council agenda and have you approve it, or if you guys are okay with me just calling it when we're ready for that, it's okay, or
Is that for up here?
it's for signs and banners on public property, right of ways and stuff.
we've always approved that.
I think we have some sort of policy for electronic thing that was drawn up for this particular property, but for right of ways, you're gonna use special.
I'd say just let Jordan do it unless Aaron says we have to do it by some other way.
Well, I think I just want to keep a precedent. I think historically it has come in front of council before, so if it's something you guys might understand, then just bring it back to the next council meeting. Let's put it in time frame for it.
I don't, she didn't make it seem like there was, so I think we'll be able to put it on the next agenda and get it from there. I can double check with her and send out an email to you guys if that works, and go from there as well, but we can just plan on putting it on the next agenda if that works for you guys. Other than that, unless you guys have any questions on my report that I sent out, I do not.
And for my report, I already covered a lot of it. So most of what I've been working on was COVID follow-up. A couple other items. Metronet did call me today. They said one of their guys talked to a city council member, so they wanted to provide clarification on what their status is. They have a lot of the underground done. They're waiting for a line to provide the permits for the poles. So I emailed the line today and asked if that could be expedited and also get the project back on track. So Mason said he wasn't aware of it, he was going to dive right in and dig. So hopefully soon they'll have the permits, and then he said once they get the permits, they'll go really fast. So we can just string all the fire. So that's what they're waiting. So people ask, I know it's been online with the status, that's the status. So otherwise, wanted to congratulate Main Street for their downtown Halloween event. I know it's hard to judge the demand, and the demand, I think, blew out any of their expectations. But I applaud them for being creative and trying to pull something off in a safe manner. This year, since they're in the traditional way. Otherwise, the field house is moving along in the silent phase. There's some big budgets coming in, so continue to update all about that. Hopefully, be able to transition to the public fundraising phase later this winter. And then a lot of the grant calendars line up late spring, early summer. So pausing for COVID set us back a little bit because we obviously want to swing some of those grants. So we'll probably see it next summer. And I think that's it. There's a potential coffee on Saturday, so I'll let you talk a little bit more about that. Do you have any questions for me? council reports.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing the community coffee this Saturday, assuming I can figure out how to make things live work from my house. Which is an adventure, but I've already talked to Karen Marlis about trying to get some training on that. So I'm told it's not too bad, but as an airline pilot, I still have anxiety over technology. So,
I'll get it configured so I can do it.
that would be nice. But it's going to be about mental health within our schools mostly, and the effects the pandemic's had on kids and school nurses and staff talking about what they're seeing in schools, and some providers as well talking about what service programs.
Worst case, I'll check my schedule, maybe I can at least say hello and start the stream. Any other council reports? Okay, we'll go back to fire department.
Just a couple of things. First off, publicly, Barb, it's my fault. You didn't get your packet. The director sent me to implicit bias training, and the thing about implicit bias training is when you don't know the answer, your mind puts in what it thinks the answer is. And so I seriously thought the neighbor's house was yours because I saw you standing there one time. So for the last 6 years,
We're good friends.
I thought that was your house. So publicly, my bad, twice attempted. So I'll make sure to read the packet next time. The other thing I was going to bring up is that we are kind of ramping back up for COVID. We have ordered a number of disinfectant supplies, wipes. We're wiping down vehicles with exposures. We've had a couple of folks that it's not the positive person, it's the brother or sister who lives in the house who we have encounters with. So we've been treating them like real exposures. We decon the car today, put the UV light in the car. So I guess the point is that I feel like city staff are taking this pretty seriously. We put together a schedule to rotate the UV light. Every room gets it at least once, and every significant exposure gets treated. And part of that process is also to wipe down the flat surfaces with disinfectant material. So far, we've been pretty fortunate, and we feel like taking it serious is the way that we're going to get through this. And then the last thing I wanted to point out is you'll notice in my council report that there is a significant fire code in the state of Iowa and in our city. And we want to be the persons that facilitate growth, but we want it to be safe. And so when people come up with ideas and start building and we don't have visibility on that, I think that's a major problem. So I would encourage the council, if people come to you, there is a process, there is a way, it's not that expensive, and it's very important that we support their growth in a way that their building lasts forever. That's all I have.
Park and Rec.
Just a couple items. Ray talked about the UV light, and I appreciate Ray's efforts in getting those here for the city. We do have one of those at Gates Hall too, so we are moving in different rooms at Gates and Wall Street. We have those out there, so that is one item that we have available there. The only other item I wanted to share with you is at this time of year, we always do our annual Thanksgiving luncheon. That is going to look different this year, but it is still going to happen. We just will not have people coming to 2 days for a sit down. So we are doing pickup. People can come by and pick it up, but we'll also do delivery. So I would just encourage that if any of you know somebody that might like to have a meal, please have them contact us. We love to get them on the list. So it's always very positive, and you know, people being shuttered more this year is really important. So if you know somebody, please let us know, and we can reach out to them or encourage them to reach out to us. Other than that, answer any questions.
change how the
We might, so that it's going to be on Tuesday the 24th, so if you want to touch base with us next week, I'll have that idea on that. Thanks.
Safety.
Just want to let you know, this will be Ryan Hunt's last week. I think Thursday was his last day, so. Everybody's feeling the loss of Ryan, because everybody loves Ryan, so it's unfortunate, but I understand why he's leaving. Other than that, you have my report. Ryan's report. Thank you.
Now we'll pop online to our library director, and it's online.
I'll just start with saying thank you for approving the digital sign. I know that the staff who change it, including myself, are going to be very thankful to have that this winter. And it'll help us with these constantly changing times on being able to keep things updated. But things are going pretty well at the library. We are back to curbside only right now, but people are taking advantage of that. Numbers are good. We are looking into putting together some warming kits. So little packets of like gloves and hats and hand warmer things that we could have available for people as the months get colder. And also we're excited that we have hotspots. We have 5 hotspots that are in the process of getting processed and cataloged that people will be able to check out. So I think those are the things I wanted to touch on, but.
Shannon. Hey, Shannon. Karen.
Just a reminder, I know I think I put it in my memo about if everybody's okay with the budget workshop being the last meeting in January, we'll do the regular meeting and then break and have the workshop right after. I did get an email today that from the state that we did get full funded for our CARES Act. It's about a little over $150,000. So we're getting that. We're still working through the FEMA ones, but we're getting that done. I'm working on the annual financial report, trying to get it done. Casey is here. I don't know with Howard R. Green. I don't know if he has anything he'd like to say.
Is Larry still on?
Larry's on, yep.
Yeah, I think Larry's got a few things he'd like to say.
I'll accept that. That might be the phone number that's not. Larry, is that you?
Oh, looks like you do that.
Oh my, okay.
Just talking permitted.
Well, I'm still probably getting up to speed on a lot of things that Larry has done over the years, so I certainly don't have the knowledge that he has. I don't think I ever will, but I do know his phone number. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them back.
See the 0369?
I don't think so.
Well, he's there, he just doesn't have audio next to his name.
It might be.
Sounds good. If he has anything, get it to you, email.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna comment how we're like the pre-COVID like council meetings for the first time forever, so. Forgot what that's like. Okay, now we'll go over to Aaron.
Yeah, nothing great.
Anything else before we adjourn?
I think you should thank Jane and Marla's that video. I wasn't around for the first one, but we were surprised how out of their house with public relations, and nothing else came out of it, but the public relations, it was well worth it. So thank you for that effort.
That's something like 24,000 views, like people, it's scrolled by 24,000 times and like 13,000 likes or something like that. So.
Must be the dancing.
What's that?
What's your dancing?
That's not my dancing, it's George's dancing. And his facial expressions for the 50s, whatever song that is.
I was glad Marlos came forward with that idea. That's a great idea.
So does that mean we have to do a Christmas one now? Or
All of it. All of it.
a rocking around the Christmas tree?
I don't know, we'll have to find a new, it's Brandis.
I mean, it's fun, you know,
That's
unless
be dangerous.
I want to watch more of the council than anything.
Except we're gonna get Aaron laughing in another one.
Yeah.
Well, that's part first.
I get Brandis to take out the spot in the video though. On that police side.
Look at that.
Maybe just have to be the Christmas tree.
There you go. On that note, anything else before we adjourn? Okay, you have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Second. Jason, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.